Hello, and welcome to our next session of Dune Adventures in the Imperium with our House and Thier, who are working on causing changes and bringing influence to a city on the new planet that they have settled. Before we get too much further, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming community / club. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. Today, we're kind of taking up after some incidents. Last time, we're still kind of in the middle of the operations. Last time, players did a couple of longer tasks that they've got some successes towards, and they've got some things that they've established as threats and targets that we'll probably lean into today. Before I go too much further and have players introduce themselves, I want to tell players we're not using the advancement point system, but I am going to give you a choice of some advances to take. So here are the 3 picks that you can do. You can add +1 to one of your skills. Like you can raise one of those numbers up. You just can't take it past 8. So if somebody's already at 8, you can't go past that. So that's one choice. Second choice is you can take a new talent. Find one that you have a prerequisite for. You can take one of those from the lists. The last thing, the third choice is you could add 2 new focuses as long as your skill is at least 6 or higher. You can add a new focus to one of your skills. So you get 2 of those. If you choose that one, you can also choose to give yourself a new asset or raise an asset 1 quality. It's sort of roughly based on equivalencies amongst what it would cost in terms of advancement points. So that's why I've broken them up that way. So let us come to talking about who our characters are and reminding ourselves of that. Let me start with Stahl. Give us the elevator pitch on who you are.
Stahl is a pollinator who goes out and spreads the good word of the philosophy that we have developed across the world. And so there's sort of a advisor / somewhat politician-y, non-fighter type person.
Excellent. And then Hayden, what do we know about you?
Okay, very bland guy, but is definitely in the Spy Master's pay. In a couple sessions ago, he provided protection for Stahl and drew first blood, which was pretty fun. And now he's just going back to the Man in the Shadows part and trying to, find intelligence for us to act on.
Excellent. And then Ismina?
Ismina is a bodyguard of House Anthier in training and general protector of the house, both the Duke and the consort and anyone, and in this case, our group going out to do this, and just wants to prove herself as a loyal and capable member of the house, and finding all kinds of oppositions to do that with.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, Serafina.
Serafina Veer is a Marduk School trained empath who is also the Vice Marshal of House Anthier, and who is tasked with setting up a system of law in this town where a great vacuum in that area was left by the previous house and by the Empire when they left.
Absolutely. The name of the urban center you're in is Saknagan. Now, let me briefly go over sort of what the threats are that are out on the table. You have Of course, House Zerat agents that you encountered, but who fled away. Last time you kind of got a sense of where the smugglers are at and who their leader is. So you have a little bit of a trail on them. You also know that there's a group that do scavenging. You're not sure exactly where they are or how they're connected. You also heard that there was a Bene Gesserit around in the city. I'm not saying that's necessarily a threat, but it's a thing that's on the table. And you also encountered some followers of the Forgiver, this created cult that was clearly set up at here, kind of a built thing. Essentially, someone has studied the religious phenotype of here, and they have crafted a particular mythic legend that they are working on, which suggests that there's probably some active people involved with that. And they attacked you and tried to kill you. But you were able to capture one of them, and you have been working towards converting him. And you've got 3 successes on the table towards that. And then last, and certainly not least, you have the clans, the gangs that kind of run the city. And of these, you've been able to identify the Haida clan as the one that seems to be the most seriously positioned, the one that has control over several key choke points in the city, which is mean to determine are like key things. If we want to defend the city, we need to have control of those. So those things are out there in the air. Some work was done on the legal system, investigations, things like that. So that is there. What I want to do before I go too much further is Hayden. My assumption has been that while they were doing their stuff, you were hitting the streets, investigating, looking into, trying to find things out. So this is like a love letter from Dungeon World. I'm going to have you make a roll, and depending on your successes, I'm going to give you some things, some information you can find, some questions and resources. So what do you think is the appropriate drive and skill combo for doing this?
Okay, let's see here. Drive, probably truth, because I'm trying to dig into the truth behind the matter. And so your skill would probably be, I'm guessing, understand. Sure. Truth and understand.
So that is a 12 or less, and you have 2 dice. The momentum pool has 1 die in it. If you wish to take it and use that here.
No, I'll leave the. Hold on a second. I'm trying to pull. I forgot to pull up the roller.
Oh, sure, sure.
Let's see here. But I'm going to leave the momentum alone for the party. So I'll just go with 2d20. And see here. Same. Did it go through?
It did go through, and it's not a great roll.
Okay.
Now, you have determination.
Okay.
Do you want to spend your determination to reroll?
That'll leave me with no determination for this game, right?
Yeah, but you've only got 1 anyway, so you're losing money not spending it.
Yeah, I might as well. So just roll the 2d20 again.
Yeah.
All right. 4 and 18, so at least 1 success.
Okay. So I'm going to give you some information, and then you're going to get a resource out of this, all right? Mm-hmm. You determined that there are 2 other clans besides Haida. Haida may be the one that has the upper hand right now, but there are 2 other clans that are potential rivals, potential people to be manipulated. On the one hand, let me grab my little list of names here. Notes. Why do I have notes? Da, 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 da. It would help if I mark these things out. So one is called Desparto. That Desparto is the one that seems to have the closest contact with the smugglers. And then the other one is Carlucia. And they seem to have contacts with the scavengers, scrappers, the people who are tearing out infrastructure and taking it to sell elsewhere. Now, the resource you're going to get is you may establish that you have a contact or asset in one of those clans. It's up to you which one you want to have it. You don't have to declare that now.
That's pretty easy. I'm just going to take an asset in the smugglers.
Okay, so you have a contact over there with that family with Desparto.
Okay, yeah, Desparto, yep.
Okay. So we'll come back. Again, we see that weird haze that comes from the gravatics in the distance, sort of the wind that whips through every once in a while, those weird flocks of birds and insects drawn by that come over the city. We're taking up, a little bit of time has passed. You've been doing your work with legalese, with the investigation, gathering these things together. You have at your disposal some more agents. Effectively, you have a handful of troops that you can put into play if you need to, that have been sent essentially to back all of you up. But let's assume that that the three of you, Stahl and let me get all names again, Ismina and Serafina, are there when Hayden, you return back after several days in the bowels of the city, effectively. And we'll assume that you've given the group the basics of what you found out about the different clans and things like that. And so let's start from there to talk about what you all want to do. We can talk about a group plan, or if we want to have a once around where like each of you want to go and hit something up to get some more information or to set something in play, we can also do that, whichever you think is better. But Stahl, what's your reaction to Hayden's information that he's brought?
I think I'm interested in it, but I'm mostly hooked right into trying to decipher the like I'm working on a puzzle right now. So I'm interested, but I'm merely entertaining that information.
Mm-hmm.
And still trying to like figure out the like master plan of my adversary, essentially.
That seems fair. Other reactions? How do you look, Hayden? Do you look energized? Do you look worn out? Do you look?
He actually looks pretty energized. This type of work really suits him. It's what he lives to do. Because you said that for advances that we could pick from those things. I'm dumping everything into my asset for spy network in the area.
Okay.
So whatever quality I can get that up to with whatever advance I have.
So you can get 2 new focuses, and then you can raise that asset up 1 quality level.
Okay, so it'll go from quality 0 because it starts at 0, and then
it
goes
up to quality 1.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, he's actually a little bit upbeat and kind of what's called he's like tapping his fingers, what's called and just kind of getting on everybody's nerves just a little bit. Is he's like flitting around the room, which called he just can't seem to get comfortable or whatever. He's just ready to go. But I watched your guys' session from last week, so that was really interesting stuff. But yeah, the first thing that jumps out at me is that our ultimate enemy is basically the witches. They're gonna make a move at some point. Do we know, since we're a part of the House Network, that about the move of Atreides to Dune? That happened is at the same time. So
that is happening in parallel,
okay.
but they have not yet been brought down by Harkonnen.
But we just know that the move happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with a big upset like that, and we got reshuffled at the same time, this is a perfect moment for the Bene Gesserit to make a move against us, and do it without getting the Emperor's attention. So we need to be really careful with them going forward.
Careful to stab them.
Ismina, what's your take on all this?
I think she'll listen really intently to what Hayden is saying and kind of be questioning and probably ask him, so how do you think we could best use, or you could best use this leverage with this clan and the others to kind of get this chokehold on these points loosened up? Like, would you recommend starting some kind of interclan?
I think we could probably leverage the smugglers, especially since if we can get a meeting with them, which I think I can set up through the contact that I made, we might be able to leverage them and use them to make a major move against Haida itself. Desparto, I've got some good feelers in there. I think we can, use them as an ally. Carlucia, they're the ones that are behind the scavengers. I don't know too much about them. They're very cagey. I couldn't pin anybody down. They're very insular. Very hard to get somebody in there. But I say we try to get the smugglers to help us out and make a move against Haida, or like Serafina suggested, is we just make their business so costly that they have to make a move against us, just if nothing else, to save face. So if we can set that up, we can get them to come after us at a point of our choosing. Ambush. Fun.
Sounds like a plan.
Serafina, your thoughts?
Hayden's largely summarized them. I'll just restate them in a slightly different way. The Haida clan is the first target. I think that not only can we enlist the assistance of the smugglers and the Desparto in order to help take on the Haida, I believe that we should attempt to co-opt them completely. And bring them in as part of the provisional government here. Essentially, make a deal with them for them to take on an official state, doing largely what they are doing, just under our rules and with certain changes in the reward structure in exchange for our assistance in their continued existence and the displacement of their worst rival. Getting them on board will make it much easier to take on the Haida, and will give us a great deal, if successful, will give us a great deal of infrastructure, which it would be very difficult for us to build up from scratch. They have existing organization, existing communications networks, ships, knowledge of shipping routes, etc. And there's no reason why we shouldn't try to ally them with, our eyes open, of course.
So it seems like we've still got some like things to be set up, some things to be put into play. Let's do a once around, check in with each people on the task related to that or something else that they have as a focus. And we'll kind of do once of those and we'll see where we're at. So stall, you've got this puzzle in your mind. You've got these Bene Gesserits out there. You've got this person you can convert in. You've got this cult. What is it that you are doing?
How far along am I in my process?
Your process of
I have 3 steps towards converting the guy. Or
yeah, I think if you put part of your time in here on doing that again and make a good roll, you can flip him.
Okay, I'll try to do that, I think.
Okay, let's start with that then. Again, what is now you've kind of gotten him turned a little bit, so he's listening to you and so on. What is it that you do? What's your tactic for closing the deal?
I think it would be to tell him about how like it is it's like the best time basically for him to strike a deal with us, because I've tried to assuage his fears about us, like whatever they've told him about us. I've tried to tell him that our philosophy is basically just critiquing every philosophy that there is, etc. So he has no need to fear us, and he's in the best bargaining position because we want to serve the planet the best way that we know how, and so he can make his big contribution now and make a big impact on the rest of the entire world potentially.
What is the appropriate drive and skill? Is this faith? Is this truth?
Yeah, that's interesting, because am I manipulating him or doing this in good faith? Right. I think it's truth. I think this is like even though at a larger scale as players we know that it's not that simple. I think Stahl believes that it's like this is the core of his character and what he believes.
Absolutely. And what skill?
Probably communicate.
Okay.
Persuade, yeah.
Yeah. So that is a 13 a 13 or less for you, right? Yeah.
Yes. Okie dokie. 2d20. Oof, a 17 and a 10, so 1.
One success. So he is pushed over and he's clearly turned. But you don't get any additional information. You maybe were hoping to get like a little more. He will say, I see this, and I've had a revelation in talking to you. But at the same time, I cannot give up those who I were with. I think you understand. I hope that my joining with you is enough.
Will you be with us publicly?
Yes. But I will not. I will not say the names of my former compatriots and so on. I personally I can't do that. But I will stand by you. I will say what I have seen.
Okay. Is it too late to do determination?
If you want to spend your determination to re-roll that to kind of push that further.
So, do I keep the 10?
You would keep the 10. You'd re-roll the other one. Alternately, if you thought you might be turn that 10 into a 1, you could re-roll the 10 to maybe get a failure on it.
That's okay.
Okay. Just offering.
Literally 50-50, not good. I'll just try to get an additional success here. 6.
Okay. 6. So what is it? What is the extra thing you want him to do?
I want him to. I don't want him to like become a mole or anything like that. I just want him to be like more of a outgoing presence, like sort of an unintentional symbol of our having convinced a local of our philosophy.
Absolutely. That seems fair. That he will, when you go to talk in the square, when you go to meet with people, he will go along with you. And if they ask, he will say, I was opposed, but I spent time speaking with Stahl, and I saw what House Anthier has promised, and I could see that it is the truth.
I pollinated.
Yes. We'll come back to you. We'll see if there's something else you want to do here. Let's come to Hayden. Got some things on the table. What's your next step?
I think I was going to get with Serafina and set up a meeting with the smuggler contact that I have, and I'm going to go with Serafina for protection purposes, and she speaks way more eloquently than I do, so I'll let her take the lead with it.
A smoky, hazy place. They've got these kind of vape things that have a greenish tinge to it. All the walls are kind of stained with that a little bit. Where damp is hit, it runs down in little drips there. And you will meet with your contact, who maybe looks a little surprised to see that you've got a bodyguard with you. But they're like, so what is it? What is it that you want, Hayden?
Really, I just want you to speak with this person. See, I'm being the bodyguard for Serafina. Serafina is going to be the one meeting with them. I'm just, introducing them and bringing them to the meeting. And then I'm keeping an eye out while they talk.
Okay. So your contact's like, well, what is it you want?
I want to sit down with Rashida.
Rashida's a smuggler. So that's a whole different thing. This is
with your leadership.
Why should they sit down with you?
Because we have a great deal to offer them, and they're going to have to make a deal with someone. The situation is changing, as doubtless they have already perceived. We are House Anthier is establishing itself here in Saknagan, and we are going to take on the Hated clan. And the Desparto can benefit from that in alliance with House Anthier, or they can stand by, and then they will be the next targets once we have finished dealing with the Hated.
See, I'm the middleman. You throw threats, and I'm just the middleman.
No.
I to arrange a meeting. If you're going to be scaring my boss, if things go sideways, then I'm the one who's strung up by his guts out off of a telephone pole outside. So
you're absolutely right.
That wasn't the answer I wanted, but
no, you are both. You are right, but your answer is not complete. What we are offering as well, of course, the experience and the network that the Desparto clan has is very valuable to Anthier, and we expect that a warm...
You talk such high level. What are you giving me to set up this meeting? because you understand what I'm saying is you're asking me to put my neck on the line to go and get you talking to my boss, and if things go wrong, then I'm a dead man. So what are you giving me?
We can money, sanctuary if things go wrong.
How about a ministry position? How would you like to be an administrator instead of nobody out here?
I do like graft. Yeah. Let's have you roll, Seraphina, and Hayden. You're assisting, so you can roll a die as well to add to this. So.
So I just roll 1d20?
You'll just roll 1d20 as an assist. So let's figure out what that roll is going to be based on. Brandon, what do you think the combo you're using is?
This is a straightforward matter of communication. I think I'm using truth in communication.
Okay. So 15 or less, and you've got a 7 or less for 2 successes. Let's have you roll the 2d20.
That is 3 successes.
That is 3 successes. And Hayden, why don't you roll your D10 using those same stats? You are muted.
Okay, so it was truth and communication.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 5 and nope, 13. Missed it by 1.
Missed by 1, but still 3 successes. So you may throw 2 momentum around, Seraphina. You can put those into the pool, or you can ask a question. But it's just 1 success once you're offering him money and stuff. He is willing to set up that meet for you. What do you want to do with those extra successes?
Is there an advantage in creating a trait?
Sure. What kind of trait do you want to create here for the meeting?
The trait is pressure to make a deal, and we need to make a deal.
All right. So he is going to be going back, talking to these people, making arrangements for that meeting, and essentially saying that we have to deal with them. You don't understand. I've talked to these people. We have to deal with them. If we don't, we're toast, kind of thing. So we'll come back. Let's do Ismina, and then we'll come to you and Hayden on the sort of the follow-up meeting. Ismina, what do you want to do?
Well, I think if they're taking care of this smuggler band, I think she was probably hanging back to kind of be around for protection for that meeting. But if there's some kind of, I guess, kind of some sort of surveying, like if she can go get any more information about either the Haida clan or weak points or something like that they have, like as we're planning to either set up an attack or set up some kind of destabilizing the balance of power.
Absolutely. So what do you think is appropriate for you investigating and sussing out these weak points on your fortified target?
I think I'll have to go with adding a point to my skill instead of a talent so that I can add a focus. And I think I'm going to use, oh, you mean like the plan or like the stats that I would use to roll?
No, I want to know what it is well, no, I think I've got a sense of what you're doing. So yeah,
Yeah,
let's talk drive and skill here.
I think that she'd be using understand, and I added the focus to be about tactics. So
nice.
That's what she's always kind of looking for. So I think she's sort of doing a lot of undercover recon, either visiting these places and or following people around, or just kind of like observing them to see either like, do they have a secret handshake that we need to like exploit? Do they have a, you know, a thing that they all eat that somebody could poison? You know, like we've got a lot of interesting nerve things that we can introduce into, you know, do they all eat together one day a week or something? And I think that this would be, I'm trying to figure it out. I think it's still, I think it might be under duty. I'm trying to figure out if it's under duty or power. It's not super self. It is connected to what we're here to do.
Yeah,
though.
no, I think duty is an appropriate choice there. So let's have you roll 2d20 here.
All right. So I want to hit a 14 or under.
And 6 or less is going to gain you 2 successes.
Oh, nice. Okay. Hey, I got a 6
so
and
that's
a 9.
3 successes. So you're going to have an extra success that after what I tell you, you can ask a follow-up question or you can throw it into the momentum pool. Does that seem fair? So you look, you skim, you scan, you see where these people are set up, that they kind of have bunkered down in these locations. They've got these hard points that they control. The thing that will strike you is that because of those, the winds and the gravity stuff and so on, they have done almost nothing to prepare for people going in from above or people going in aerially, coming in from the roofs, any of that kind of thing. It doesn't enter into their defenses. It doesn't enter into their equations at all. And you know that, I mean, you've got an ornithopter stashed away here that you were brought in on, you know, or, you know, you can do rooftop expeditions, but that they are extremely vulnerable. You might be able to hit ventilation, or you might be able to just go in. You might be able to blow places up. There are a lot of options on that. Does that seem like reasonable info?
Yes.
Okay. And so you got 1 point that you could drop in the pool, or if you have a follow-up question, I'll answer that.
I should probably put it in the pool. Give me a sense of if this is an important question that should be answered like the rest of the party. I was kind of curious if like she saw where the leader was, or if we know where he, like which of these areas he hangs out in the most. Like I guess that's kind of my follow-up question, is like where
you can pinpoint, if that's your question, you can tell that the leader moves around, but there's a discernible pattern. He's doing some tradecraft, but not enough. You've got some military background, things like that, and you can identify one of these places that is set up, and that at least for the reasonable time coming up, you'll know where their leader is at, which of those strong points he's holed up at.
Okay, awesome.
Serafina, Hayden's going with you. Shall we do that meeting?
Please.
Okay. Then I think that we see your contact, Hayden, meets up with you. They take a few steps to kind of avoid being followed, all of that. But eventually, you'll be brought to a meeting place, and you will see this woman, Zia Shundish, and she seems to be in charge of the family here. And she kind of assesses this. You have the sense, Hayden, that she might know who you are. Like maybe know there's some family stuff there, so she might have some sense of that. But she says, you certainly turned the ear of my underling to come here. So let's hear your pitch.
I would like to use my talent to ask a question.
Okay.
Which is, what's the most important thing to her? Which might be, what is she afraid of? But I'll leave the question more open.
The most important thing for her is that what comes next doesn't just set fire to the place. That she's afraid that given the other gangs, given the smugglers, given the scrappers and so on, she is afraid that someone is going to mess up, and what's going to end up is that something is going to get blown up that shouldn't get blown up. Someone is going to get killed that shouldn't get killed, and it all goes terribly wrong.
My name is Serafina Veer. I am the Vice Marshal of House Anther. And the first thing I desire to establish is that House Anther is here to stay. And we are going to create an order that benefits the people of Sagnagan as well as ourselves. And we will do whatever is required in order to make that happen.
Okay.
One of the largest obstacles in the way of our establishing that order is Clan Haga. And so we're going to...
She spares a glance for Hayden when you say that, and then her eyes come back to you.
I just smile, kind of creepily.
And so we intend to dismantle them.
Dismantle. That sounds
If
like
there
a
are,
euphemism.
If there are parts of that clan who will cooperate with us, we don't have a need to destroy them. But I expect that we're going to have to kill most of their leadership.
They are strongly dug in.
They
have
are
the upper hand because of force and defenses. It's like pulling a tick out of your leg, getting them out of here.
Yes, but we're a lot bigger than a tick. And we have brought the right tools. And we are hoping that you will be available to assist us and to likewise be the beneficiary of a system that currently grants you only what you can ferociously guard from the other clans and organizations. We are establishing a system of law under which you can work to enrich yourselves without security being your primary concern. Your organization and your network have the necessary people and talent to make enormous capital of the resources at your command. But you are of necessity spending a great deal of that simply protecting what you have and making sure that no one makes a move on you.
Let's have you roll. What is it you think is appropriate for convincing her?
I'm going to listen to what she says, and I'm going to try and get into a rapport state. I don't expect that what I have said is necessarily the entire argument. She just asked for a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first ball being thrown out. I think in this case, the primary drive is duty and it is communication.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
I'm going to spend that momentum and roll the third die. And that's 6 successes.
She says, I'll do this. I'll put my blades and guns at your disposal, providing you're not throwing my men away in whatever combat is coming, but it doesn't sound to me like that's your way of things. And I will intercede with the smugglers, provided that the offer you're making to me carries through to them.
It does. And far from throwing you away, we wish to trade upon your expertise and capabilities. So
Well, I have a condition. If you fulfill this condition, if you promise me that this will be done, then every man, woman, and child that is under my control and the smugglers will back you to the hilt. I understand that there are no vassal families to House Anthier. That's what I want. Make me a noble, and I will bring you my family to serve as vassals. And I will make sure that whatever laws and order that you demand to be brought here to Sacknagan, they will be carried out.
I put my arm on the table with my palm up, and I say, give me your hand.
She'll reach out. She's clearly like she's willing to say this, that this is a big demand, but she clearly trusts you enough to ask for this and to put her hand out.
She puts her hand in my hand. I will gesture to my facial tattoos. And I say, I'm an empath of the House Marduk, and I swear that I will exert every effort to see that this takes place. As I speak for House Anthir, if we are successful, what you have asked for will happen.
I'll ask for some kind of sign, symbol, letter, pledge from your Duke, but I accept.
You'll have it. You've already, the greatest part of the pledge you have had, the rest is a piece of paper.
You've got a couple momentum that you can throw back in the pool, or if there's something else you want to do with that.
No, I'll put 2 momentum back in the pool.
Okay. Let's take our first break here, and when we'll come back, we'll check in with Stahl on what theosophical enigmas you wish to put into play. So we'll take 10, and then we'll be back. So Hayden, you wanted to have a coda to that scene with Seraphina.
Okay. First of all, I just wanted a couple of questions real quick.
Sure.
Do you have a name for my father, or can I name him?
I have a picture for him. I put a name for it, but you can change his name if you want.
Oh, no. I mean, if you have the name, that's fine.
Dirabansi is what I've been calling him.
Dirabansi. Okay. All right. And what you call it? Okay. So as Seraphina gets up and what you call it, the agreement has been made, you can see the greed almost in the smuggler's eyes that are flashing open, because this is going to be the best deal of her life or like that. And I just walk up to her and speak very softly to her and say, I can tell by the way that you looked at me that you might know who I am. And I just wanted to have one question answered from you before we leave. Is Dirabanshi in the leadership of Haida, or is he just a heavy?
He has chewed his way through the stomach of that organization to rise up to the top.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
The only reason I know who you are is because he sent notes to our clan and to the others that you are off limits to anyone but his organization.
That'll work in my favor. Thank you. And I just nod, and then I leave.
Okay. So let's come back to Stahl. So let's give a name to this convert, shall we? Do you have a name, or do you want me to give you one?
You can do it.
Okay. We will call him Ebrahan. And he is now kind of eager to follow along, listen to you, and help you in whatever work you plan to do here.
I was thinking he might be good at helping us program the game. Well,
That's
not
true.
so much him doing it, but us,
It would certainly help
it.
the engineers to get some of the facets here. Someone who is deeply in at least one form of the religious spheres. Yeah, you can certainly put him in touch with that. But what do you want to be doing?
How long do we expect this game to take?
Probably not till you get back to the capital. Is sort of my window of things right now.
Okay. I'm not sure what else I would be doing. Oh, we gotta win the hearts of mine still?
Yeah. You also have that Bene Gesserit out there.
Oh yeah, gotta stab her or them. Who knows? Okay, maybe I'll try to. Oh, he was the one that put me on to the Bene Gesserits with the things that he was saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe try to figure out where he got those things to sort of backtrace that.
So basically, you want to track her down.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not hard. She is not hiding herself.
She's right behind you.
No, she is there. She's not making herself obvious, but neither is she trying to hide. But she is acting essentially as a missionary to the poor and the downtrodden here in this a very obscure city on this somewhat obscure planet. And if you want to track her down and meet with her, you can.
Sure, yeah. Let's go for a little meet.
We'll assume that you have guards with you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
just that's going to be my thing, unless you are
I
deliberately.
can go with you unless you don't want to be accompanied.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, anyone who wants to come meet a Betty can.
So Stahl, Ismina, you will go and find what was perhaps a very primitive worship temple that has been kind of cleared up and restored. You have the sense that this person has clearly been here for a number of months. Certainly predates your family's arrival, but maybe not necessarily predates announcement that your family would be taking over this planet. And there are people here who are listening to, copies, recordings of the Orange Bible and the various classic religious tracts. And there's definitely a certain amount of treating to the ill and the infirm. And you will see this woman in the robes of the Bene Gesserit, and she will approach, and she will say, "I am Sister Iordani."
And I'm sure you've been expecting me.
I don't know if I should have expected anything. Your business is so pressing to call upon me. To have an expectation that you would do that, it would be haughty of me.
So is she so what do we know at a player level about the Bene Gesserit? It's pretty secret, right?
You know, the Bene Gesserit are a religious sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they're probably the most important religious functionaries in the empire. You know, based at your level, you know that they have amazing skills and abilities. They've certainly been trained in that. Trained Bene Gesserits, women are often, assigned to houses, with a whole system of concubinage and so on, that has happened. So you know that they manipulate things. You know that they are also involved in the same sort of religio engineering that you do.
Okay.
Please come and sit.
Sure, yeah, I'll have some tea after a sniffer has it.
Yeah. Ismina, do you sit or do you stand? How are you presenting yourself?
I think I am standing. I think I would follow behind Stahl and kind of like, as he sits, kind of like stand behind him at this. And I think I would nod to her and she won't speak up unless spoken to, but yeah, I think her general vibe is like, as she's like, why would you come visit me but a simple religious sister? I think she's just like, yeah, as you know, we know the importance of religion, and we know the importance of knowing the people in the area where we're coming to be. So yeah, she would, I think she's kind of like not really a big fan right off the bat.
She will say, when House Cameron held this world, they did not go in much for the faith and religion, except in the most palatable, submissive mode. With the coming of the Imperial controllers, the Sisterhood thought it good to send people to see how the hearts and minds and souls had evolved here and what we could do.
And so how long have you been here?
Months.
Is she lying?
Do you have a talent for reading that?
I'd like to think so.
So do you want to? So there are a couple of things. Do you have a skill? Do you have a talent that allows you to do that, or do you want to make a skill roll to kind of read through here? And if you were going to push it, it would be a way to kind of ask questions, do a kind of study move on here. I'm cool with that.
I have hidden motives.
Ooh,
is she trying to understand or communicate with me?
I think she is.
If she fails, I can put a trait on her, which reflects a mistaken belief that she has about me.
Well, then let's have you make a roll. And we're going to flip that around, that if you succeed well enough, you're going to be able to apply that trait in addition to whatever else you do.
Okay.
Just so I don't have to roll. I don't like rolling.
Sure. Okay, and then I also have cautious understand. So I'll spend 1 momentum, and that lets me re-roll a single d20 in the dice pool.
Okay, so you're going to roll with 3d20, and what's the drive and skill here?
I'm understanding her with probably faith.
Okay, Ismina, are you helping out on this? Do you think that you're also, are you pulling into the reading of the situation?
I definitely can. I can also do we still only have 1 point of momentum? Or did Brandon
put back 2 and Fraser just used 1, so you should be at 1.
Okay. Yes, then I would like to help.
You'll roll an extra die using the same traits that Stahl is calling for.
Okay, wait a minute. That's faith, and what was the other one? Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure.
So Fraser, roll 3d20.
Okay. 3d20. 6, 6, 16.
So that's 2 successes. And then Ismina, you may roll as well. And you get to re-roll your 16.
Oh, yes.
All right. I think...
so you just roll 1d20.
Oh, I do?
Yep.
All right.
Did both of those make it under the thing?
Both of those went.
Okay, in that case, don't re-roll. We'll just say you've added an extra success on. No reason to penalize you there. So that's 3 successes, and you re-rolled that 16, Fraser?
I will now 2. Haha.
So you have 4 successes.
Yes.
So let's break down the information. The first thing you want to know is she telling the truth about months? She's fudging it. She's certainly been here over a year, but not by much.
So probably
she's saying the literal truth that she has been here for a number of months. But you can tell from the setup, from the tone, all that this probably been closer to a year. So probably pretty soon after it was announced the switch over.
Gotcha. Okay, and
What's your next question or thing you want to know?
what is her primary function in this space?
She is waiting for something to happen. She has that feel of someone who has been put here to await a change, to await something to occur here. Not as a sleeper agent, but a person who the sisterhood have said that a thing is going to happen and you need to be there when it happens.
Is she, and I guess by proxy, the Bene Gesserit, are they aware of our function as a house to be diametrically opposed to them?
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. That's not even a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're aware that you, like some other houses, are involved in different kinds of religious stuff. And certainly they have some objections to what you do.
Is there a way to judge her sort of standing with the Bene Gesserit? Because most of the time they get placed in pretty predominant like situations, right? Like they're usually like advisors or like some sort of powerhouses or whatever on the planets, right?
That's often the case, depending on the level of training and so on that they've undergone.
Mm-hmm.
You think that she's pretty strong, and her being placed here certainly points to some other factors at play, and the fact that if she is a Reverend Mother, or even a step down from that, she's not announcing that is an unusual thing.
Right.
And
So,
you have that back and forth. You're talking with her, and she will say, "So now, may I ask you a question? Also, what trait do you want to put on her?"
oh, something like
Underestimating, impressed, intrigued.
like she's underestimating us.
Okay. Yeah, she sees you. You're young. She sees you brought with you a blunt tool of a warrior, and that's
Just let me at her. Just let me at her.
And she says, "Let me ask you. We are here with the permission of the emperor and so on. I want to make sure that there's no tension or misunderstanding between the two of us, you who seem to be my mirrored person amongst your house. Perhaps I can share something with you, though with your network of agents you may already be aware of it.
What is that?
There are people here engaged in theological manipulations, redaction, reworkings, and they are among those who sent those attackers against you. I met with them to try and gauge what they were involved in.
And what did you make of them?
there are the people who are doing this are not nearly as sophisticated at these kinds of workings as you and your family. They probably had no realization that they would be pitted against ones with such skills as you. And so I think if you put your mind to it, you should be able to deal with them fairly easily, either directly counteracting their mimetic work or dealing with them, looks at Ismina, by force.
And this would benefit you as well?
I don't think so. I don't think so either way.
So this is just a gift?
I had no pledge.
Sighs behind him, like, are we really? It's just really out loud. Okay, stall, honestly.
No, you are the caretakers of this world. They present a potential problem for order and balance and the populace. And so I'm informing you as I would consider it my duty.
Well, I'm sure the Emperor is pleased with your performance. Can I do masterful innuendo in a way that like kind of plants a thought in her? Is that what it's like, in the spirit of the move?
Oh, interesting. Let me see the descriptor of this. Yeah, let's have you communicate here.
Yeah, I want to do that. Like, I say one thing, but on the lowdown, something else goes in her brain or whatever.
Okay.
And basically what I want to try to get her to do is to make contact with her immediate supervisor of whatever kind, so we can kind of tell if there's more Bene Gesserit here, if she's the only one, or if she's just, communicating with her order through space messages, email.
Let's have you roll.
Okay. So
communicate and
then increase difficulty, I think. It says you must choose to increase the difficulty of the test +1.
Okay. And what is your drive you're using with this?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I was gonna say battle, but it doesn't really seem to fit what it says.
Well, because that's a skill, and you've already got a skill. Communicate.
Right.
So what's your drive?
Okay.
Can I use double battle?
Double battle. Yeah, I use battle 4 times. I'll use. I think it's a faith.
Okay.
Philosophy is a sharp blade. That's what it's about.
So that's a 14 or less. Let's have you roll.
Alrighty. 3 and a 14.
3 and a 14.
And does
she says back to you in a word that kind of echoes through the room. She says, I am not the one that you want to do that to.
Do I get more out of using the statement?
What do you mean?
Extra successes or whatever from philosophy as a sharp blade.
Well, you could spend your determination to do that. You already did that.
Okay, well, I'll spend some of your threat.
Can I can, if you fail a skill test, I can add 2 threat to allow you to re-roll.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Because we don't have 2 momentum.
But you rolled pretty well.
Yeah, it would just
difficulty was up by 1, and this is a sophisticated opponent, which you've already assessed. I already told you that they were potent.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to get more successes out of a reroll, right?
Unless you rolled a 1.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, long odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
I could just
Just kill her.
no, I could just tell you to shut up and I could use my direct move and you could do a different kind of test. Wait, so
she just says, I mean, she says not to try that on her. She doesn't push back.
okay.
She says, I am not your enemy here. In fact, it may well be that I can be a friend to you in your house.
How so?
Let us just say that if I am alerted to things which threaten House Anthir, threaten disruption, that I will bring that information to you. It is in the interests of myself and my order that House Anthir stand strong and tall on this planet.
I look forward to speaking to you again. So I guess we'll just retreat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as we go, I think Ismina just nods and says, as we're leaving, just like I think she says, just as not all theologians are always subtle, not all warriors are always blunt either. And just turns and follows you out.
Yeah, for Phenopoly.
Hayden, what's your next step?
Okay, so we've got a deal going with the smugglers to what you call it the
well with Desparto, and they are working right now, probably even the vaccines with this number of successes that you got. They are going to the smugglers and saying, you need to come along with us. So they are working that.
Okay, and we know from Ismina that the main way to go after Haida is probably from the air, and maybe not as a halo drop, but there's a trick that they did in the Vietnam War, what are called a parakeet drop, which is we have an ornithopter, which means we load up in the ornithopter with however many troops we want to go, and it's a fast descent, drop straight right on top of the roof and just go straight in. And I mean, if it's open, we can just hit it, go in, kill whoever's the leadership, because I think Ismina also said that she knows the pattern of the big guy, which might be my father.
Yeah.
So.
Ismina, you were going to say?
I was just going to say he'd mentioned infiltrating via the air ducts and things like that. So I think she might suggest having one person go in and then put some kind of like paralyzing something in basically gas everybody first, so that they're paralyzed, so that it doesn't just kill them, and we can choose who to keep and who to talk to and who to detain.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds almost like my job, infiltration. So yeah, I could definitely do that, but I would definitely use the ornithopter in some sort of direct attack at the same, time it so that they happen pretty close to each other.
Yeah. So it sounds like the actual plan, once we get this once around done, will be infiltration, setting something up, ornithopter going down, troops going in, following up on that. Okay. So how do you want to, do you want to work on something to set that up, or do you want to do other investigations in other avenues? What do you think?
let's see here. Yeah, we've already done the Bene Gesserit. I guess I can try to see where the scavengers sit on this if they're going to be making a play anytime soon. So maybe start hitting my street contacts and seeing if there's any unusual development
Sure.
amongst the scavengers to see if they're going to toss some dice into this situation.
Let's have you roll.
Okay.
What do you think is an appropriate combo for this?
All right. Let's see here. I do believe it's either going to be communicate or understand, or
I understand. You're investigating, so we can do that.
Okay, and I'm going to be pushing my my reputation trait a bit, so I'm going to pair it with power.
Okay.
To throw my weight around a bit. So would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think I have any focuses that'll help me on that one. So that'll be 11.
11 or less.
Okay. Whoa. Nope. Strikeout.
And I think there is probably like at least one moment, when you're doing that, when you make a misstep, and you end up in the middle of a set of Carlusia knife men.
Ooh.
Who are around you, and then like they catch sight of your face, and they put their hands up and they put their blades back in their thing, and they clearly have gotten the orders that you are not theirs to kill.
I just sigh, turn around and try to slink back into the crowd because I just misstepped really badly there. So I think I'll probably just beat feet back around, try and work that off, see a few of my contacts just, for something to do.
Absolutely.
Back.
Yeah, fade into the woodwork so they can't immediately trace you back, and you mess up the trail. Ismina, what are you doing on this once around?
I think I haven't established another asset besides the ones that I already have, since I added a point in my skill thing. So I was wondering if I could establish an asset to either, and I don't know if this is communicating back to where or talking with the scientists, whoever it is, to get the kind of gases that we would need for this attack.
Absolutely. Since you haven't established, you can have that as your second asset you haven't declared. Essentially, you've transmitted back to the main house, and I think that eventually that probably goes up the line to Idris Cardano, who makes arrangements, and by the time you get back, there is someone there with a canister of a paralytic, along with small doses of an injectable agent that will remove the paralysis, but will also, you can do it to render yourselves immune from this particular thing. They'll say the sort of note that is with it is, in the circumstances that you've described within the building, given the potency of this should dispatch a chunk of the troops, certainly not all of them, just because of dispersal and so on, but this will cut down on the strength of the opposition that you face.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wish to do?
I think she'd kind of want to put her ear to the ground and see if like it's been a minute, but is Zerat doing anything? Like, do we need to be paying attention to them while we're...
That seems like a very good question to ask. Let's have you roll.
Okay. I'm trying to. Can this be battle since it's a tactics? I guess it could be an understand, but
Depends
yeah.
on what kind of thing you want to do and what do you want to know. If it's about strengths and dispositions and things like that, that'd be battle. Understand if you want to know what they're aiming for, what they're trying to do.
True. I think her motivation is she wants to know, like, to make sure that we're not just leaving a weak spot by not thinking about them for a
Sure.
while. To be kind of like, where are they? Are they headed this way? Are they involved in this somehow?
So that feels like understand.
Okay. So understand and duty.
Yeah.
I think, yep. Okay. That's a okay, 14 and under. I think that's two. True. Okay. Oof. That's a success and a critical fail. Does a 20 override everything?
No. All that
Looking out.
is that means that there's a complication.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
So what is it you want to know?
I think I want to know, like, they've been very quiet since we saw them. Like, are they still here? Are they planning something against us? Like, was it sort of happens, are they, it seemed like they were here for not specifically us at the time, so that was like back when we were talking with Mulav. So kind of like, I guess the biggest question, if we boiled all that down, would be are they interacting with some of the people that we were interacting with? Kind of like,
that's a really good question. Here's the answer. They're not. Because they've kind of pulled back and they're up doing something a little bit north where the gravity stuff is.
great. Okay.
That's your complication.
All right. So they might just destabilize everybody and everything. They're messing around with the gravatic anomaly.
Yeah, and the old the ruins and the scientific institutions and things up there.
Okay. Yeah, I think she brings that back to the group. Like, good news, we haven't heard from Zerat in a while. Bad news, they are, we may not have to worry about any of this if all of that goes off at an inopportune time. Just so, yeah, good to know.
Serafina, what are you doing?
I am I'm consolidating what I have established in connections, and I am Haida clan certainly expects us to go after them. So I'm going to give them what they expect. We're going to start putting together some little raids on businesses of theirs.
Okay.
Some part of this is to irk them, but a greater part of it is to take their attention, so that when we choose to strike at them, they are not expecting that. If we sit and do nothing, they will be ready for anything. If, on the other hand, we seem to be engaged in low-level warfare, then that may amuse them for a little bit.
Absolutely. So what do you think is the appropriate skill combo for organizing and managing these distracting raids?
I think it's duty and battle.
Okay.
And I have no particular focus that assists.
Right. I will say the difficulty is down by 1 because you have your allies that essentially act as kind of cutouts and middle people in this. So they make it a little bit easier for you to carry out these operations.
All right. We have 1 success.
That is 1 success. So I think what we'll see is some hitting on some of their outlying things. The neighborhood associations following in, some things like that, that forces them to dispatch a few more people to their other businesses. Effectively, they're forced to draw down from some of their main places to support, because once weakness is shown, that's when people decide, well, we don't have to pay our debts or that kind of thing. So you put a little bit of pressure on them there.
That's what I wanted. Thank you.
So let's take 5.
Oh,
and
also,
then, oh yes.
Also would like to gather a small database of faces in the organization that are our primary intelligence, that are going to be primary intelligence targets, should we succeed in capturing anyone.
Okay, I think that's a distinct different action than what you're engaged in there. Okay. So we could do another once around before we do the raid if we want to do that, or we can move right to the raid.
Whatever you prefer.
Let's take 5 and let's do the raid, since we kind of been building up to it, and then we can kind of retcon some things.
That's fine.
Let's take 5, and when we come back, you'll tell me how you're destroying them. All right. So this building, multi-story, been reinforced. We know we got probably a casino, interior, other criminal operations. This is the bigger HQ, and it's the one that your target is in. We know that the aerial approaches are the one that you're going to be using. Tell me, Brandon, tell me something else about this building.
Let's see. In terms of the structure that might affect the operation?
Structure, look, whatever.
Let's see. It has the top floor has a great glass skylight. Or plexi, probably,
has some sort of, it's a transparent thing. It might be a little more fragile than usual things. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me, Ismina, what is the big piece of security that they actually have here? Like the piece of defense that you might be a little worried about? Is it purely manpower? Is it a weapon? Is it some kind of field? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that they have got their power from a source that she's not entirely familiar with. It might be from an experiment or something that we don't know about. And it's in the building, and she doesn't know if they turn it off and on, or if it fills the rooms, or is through the doors, or is something that they have access with. But there's some kind of impregnated electrical-ish
and since you don't know what it is, you don't know how it works, you don't know what makes it explode, which is always an important question. So that Hayden, what did this building used to be?
let's see here. Maybe it used to be a previous government's building, like
Okay.
House Cameron. Or,
Yeah, like an administrative office kind of thing.
yeah, like maybe like something that they used as their headquarters, and when they moved out, Haida like moved really quick and took it over.
Yeah. So it probably has some ornamentation. We've got some eventually gargoyles and things on the outside. Stall. If you guys go in and attack this building, what is in the nearby area that might be put in jeopardy or danger by this if things go terribly wrong?
My immediate thought was that the Betty Gesserit person.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, like, oh man, if this building blows up, so does she. It's a rough break. Maybe the like scrap yards where people are like combing through the old remnants of the places that were they were uprooting structures from that old house that pulled out.
Yeah, we've got a set of essentially effectively mechanized mudlarks working their way through the wreckage and things. So they're in a little bit of danger with this. So
Maybe
here's
maybe there's
yes.
a little. Fraser, do you think maybe there's a little shanty town or something there?
Some favela or something like that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, just some people using salvage junk, to make ersatz housing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If the building falls over, it'll certainly fall and crush them all to death. So here's what I understand of the plan. Kind of what I see as some of the roles, and there are a couple open questions for me. So I know that Hayden is going in first from above, getting into the system, taking this chemical that Ismina has provided to dispatch paralytics to reduce the numbers. I also know that the strong arm of this is Ismina and some troops going in through the roof and dishing out violence and making their way through. So those two definitions seem right?
Yes.
Stall, what is your part of this mission?
Yeah, I'm not actually certain what I would be able to provide effectively. Maybe, I know. Maybe I could be drawing those people, the occupants of the nearby structure, into another meeting of some kind or something like that.
Oh, so you would try essentially draw off the innocents?
Yeah.
That seems great. That seems like an absolutely a thing you can do here, and you want to do it without drawing too much attention. Serafina, what's your part of this operation? Are you going in with Ismina? Are you on the ground? What do you think?
I don't know if I'm going in or not. I might be coordinating from a command center, but I have marshals inserted in Ismina's troops whose objective is the securing of intelligence. So identifying people who might be sources of information and important computer files and securing computer files and things like that. We're not there to fight, but are there to make sure that we end up with as much
papers, anything like that. Okay,
yes,
that
absolutely.
seems good. And we'll assume that you
and I'll go in myself if need be in order to coordinate that. But
we'll assume that you install on the ground. You've got assistance from the Despartos people. They are essentially blanketing the surrounding area. They're making sure backup can't come from any of the other areas. They're holding that. They're essentially forming a line so that if someone from Haida gets out, they can intercept them. So have their forces arrayed. So it seems to me that the first person to roll to see how this goes is going to be Hayden. And then we'll check in with Stahl. And then we'll come to Ismina. Sound like the right order? So Hayden, we're not going to do all of the break in and then roll for as you might. We're going to do this as one roll. Yeah. So what do you think the roll is for breaking in and planting these chemical paralytics correctly?
I just had one real quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
You said that their weakness was coming in from there, but was part of that also that they were weak from coming from below as well? I think was that.
No, I think just from the air is what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
I'm assuming that you're going from rooftop to rooftop, or you're getting dropped off a ways beforehand.
Yeah. I think it's going to be an infiltration for my focus, which is under discipline, because I'm probably going to have to get into the air ducts, which is a little bit strong. I mean, because I just don't understand why they have infiltration as a focus under discipline instead of move. I just
I'm good with that.
Okay,
that makes sense.
And then I'll call this duty, because what must be done must be done. So
right. So 14 or less, 8s and below count as 2 successes.
Yeah. All right. And 2d20. Come on, roller, work. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes. So, what does it look like when you're going in? Like what are the vents that you're going into? What is the thing we see on screen of you doing?
Probably me doing one rooftop transfer onto the main building. I run up to the plastic steel thing that everybody's gonna be breaking into just to take a look at real quickly, and then I find the air vent system over at the corner of the building. I tiptoe over there, get into the vents. It's actually very tight, and he's having to reconfigure and start removing some clothing that will get in the way, and he's just shimmying several inches at a time. The vents are all very nasty, all sorts of insects and spiders and stuff like that, but he's just powering through with his discipline to get past all the nastiness. He finds a nice big air vent that's over the main room, and he starts to set up the little canister and connects the tubing to that window, and then I guess he's gonna tap on the subvocals and hope that they don't have any jamming communication and saying in place.
And so you've gotten down there. Are you more interested in not being spotted or getting the maximum dispersal here?
I'm going to be more interested in getting the max dispersal.
Okay. Then I think you've got that set up, and you're like, okay, we're good. And you kind of start to move back to get to kind of start to head back. And I think that's when the vent gives. And there's that moment when you come crashing down into one of these secondary rooms with some people in it. But we'll come back to that. Stahl, what are you doing to get these people out of the area?
Maybe a similar town hall meeting or something like something to get them heard, just like the other community over or whatever that we did.
Okay.
Providing some snacks.
Once again, it's snacks, crackers, and juice as your main tool for drawing them away. Okay.
Yes, I would like to declare a new asset.
Break time. Okay. So what is it to convince these people that they want to be there and not, and like bring everybody, so that there's nobody left in this area to potentially get harmed if something blows up?
Can I bring the my new fella, my new convert?
Yeah. Let's say you use him as a trait, and we'll reduce the difficulty.
Excellent. And I am communicating, I think, faith. Literally
Okay.
communicating my faith.
Then let's have you roll. So difficulty was 3. Say difficulty 2 right now.
10 and a 14.
That is just enough to get 2 successes. So I think it is that you and Abraham, move through this place, and you're talking to people. Even the old and infirm, they are welcome. Let me help you get out of here. We've got this going on, and you're doing it in a way. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you more interested in not being seen doing this by the people in the building, or getting everyone out?
Getting everybody out.
Okay. So the net effect of that, Hayden, where you're at, is these people seem to be a little on edge, like word has come up that something is going on. But you got everybody out, Stahl.
All I'm doing is carrying around a bunch of flyers saying time to be heard. I don't know.
And you're also part of this group that has been actively attacking Hayden interests in the last week or so, right?
Maybe.
Okay. So Ismina, describe to me what you and your assault team coming in looks like.
First up, do we know, has Hayden hit the button to disperse the gas?
I assume that Hayden has activated that the blowers are going, and people are dropping in different segments of the building. Okay.
I think that, yeah, it looks like boots on the plexus skylight as we are sliding down, and we are breaking through, and different people are going into different rooms, stopping beforehand, checking to make sure who's down and to see who's still up, and kind of like scanning before kind of marching in.
Yeah, and I think we see the even as Hayden has fallen into this room, we see you melt that door. Your people are spreading out. They're already seeing people on the ground. You're doing all kinds of confirmations, and you're making your way downwards in sort of a reverse of the raid, going down the levels here, kicking in doors, checking on things, and moving downwards. So literally, when you hit the roof is when you get the word from Hayden that things may have not have gone as great as they could have.
I think she would just kind of like sigh and then just be like, well, that's what we're here for. Like that's what the cleanup team is for.
So Serafina, you've got the area locked down on the ground. So you there may be a bit before I get a roll, like it looks like what you're gonna be doing is some follow-up. I hope that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Hayden, one of these guys heads for the door to get out to call for backup, and the other one is grabbing a weapon out and moving to come at you. What do you do?
Okay, so as soon as I dropped to the ceiling or like that, I obviously gave the subvocal to them that detection imminent, engaging now. So I'm gonna immediately throw my knife at the guy who's running to try and get help. I'll ignore the guy who's coming towards me. I just don't want him to alert anybody else to make things difficult for everybody else.
So this is battle, and what drive is pushing you to get this knife into this guy's back?
I think I'm gonna go with power again because I'm in strong move mode.
12 or less.
Okay. Let's see here. God, wow, this roller just does not like me.
So I think you throw that, and the guy is just at the door. Your knife sunks deep into the wall, and he's shouting out in like the clan cant, essentially 5-0, 5-0, or whatever they're the calling out, and this other guy comes at you. I need you to roll to defend against this bladesman here.
Okay. And that's going to be, let's see here, battle again. And since I don't have my knife on me, I'm just going to do the dirty fighting focus that I just picked up. And I guess this is still power because I'm still just doing that. So it's 12 and under.
No, I don't think you're close enough to help Ismina, but we'll do your roll for busting through those floors here in just a second.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so, and we only have what, one momentum?
That is true.
Does anybody mind if I spend that momentum?
I will tell you that I have rolled no hits on the roll on you.
Right,
you still have to roll to defend because you can generate momentum.
Okay, no problem. 2d20 then. And okay, so I got 2 successes and a complication.
Yes,
so isn't that lovely?
I think that you get 2 successes. You can throw that in the pool or create a trait or whatever you want to do. But this guy clearly has some kind of comms, and he shouts on the comms. Dirabansi, he's in the building.
Okay, and
that's your complication.
Okay, great. So, and you said I could use, I could put a trait on him.
You could put a trait on him, or on the scene, or you could put a couple momentum. I'm going to just
dump it back into the pool for everybody else.
Add 2 momentum to the pool. Ismina, let me have you roll. This is your battle roll to see how fast you can tear through these floors to get down to where Hayden is at.
Yes. I had a question. Can I sub out one of my talents that I have not used?
100%.
Awesome. I think I'm just gonna, and if it comes into play, I'll mention it, but it may not.
Okay.
So I am busting through the floors. I think this is battle and duty.
Okay.
That is what I'm gonna go with.
How much momentum are you using?
Momentum.
I'm gonna use
so we have 3 in the pool right now.
We have 3. I'll use 1, so
okay.
I'll leave 2 just in case we need, and that's another die.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's 3 successes.
3 successes. So you and your men, your team are knocking down. You spot weak points. You're just blasting through the floors, and you're going down through the top floor. People are out, and by the time you hit some people that are active opposition, they are dropping them very quickly. And I think that you will get in the area that Hayden is at that point. I think with 3 successes, we see you kick in the door, and you see Hayden engaged in combat with this guy. He's got a close-in blade, trying to get at Hayden. Hayden's knocked that aside. So let's stall, Serafina. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of combat stuff with this. If there's something you want to do outside, please interrupt on the sequence of things, just because we kind of split in different directions. Hayden, Ismina is kicked in the door, is there, and this guy is still up on you.
Okay, I'm just gonna go for a quick nut shot.
Okay. Dirty fighting. Yep.
And are these schmucks that only get killed on one hit, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, so it's gonna be a nut shot. Then when he's down, I just put him in a headlock and break his neck, or at least that's what I'm trying to do.
Let's see it.
Okay, and let's see here. Our pool is 3. I'm gonna take 1, so roll 3d20 and leave 2 momentum in the pool for everybody else. And let's see here, 3d20, and it's the same thing as 4 battle and power plus dirty fighting.
Sure.
And let's see here. What was my total? 5, 7, 12. So, I didn't get anything.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Wait, do we still have 2 momentum left?
Yes.
Okay, then is that only 1 die? No, I can, because I'm there, I can spend 2 momentum and probably call out like Hayden behind you, or like in front of you, calling out directions for that guy, and you can re-roll all of that.
All your dice.
And you can use her discipline instead of your battle.
Yeah.
Cool. And your discipline
is 7.
7, okay, and my power, so it brings it back to a 14. And let's see here, 20. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 successes because of my focus, I guess, and 1 complication.
Woo!
4 successes. So that's 2 more than you needed. So you can drop 2 momentum back in the pool.
Yeah, I do that immediately. 2 is the magic number in the momentum pool.
But I think that the other side of the room door comes open, and you will see a pair of thugs and your dad.
Lovely.
So that's the situation we're in. Everybody's in the same zone right now. Close quarters. Hayden has just dropped this guy, Ismina. You see these 2 thugs. They are armed with pistols. There's a bigger guy who looks nasty, who's in between them, who, given the info and sketches, you can identify him as your primary target, Darren Bonsi, but also Hayden's primary target. Okay, what do you want to do?
Has Hayden told us about his dad?
That's a good question.
I do believe I did earlier that he was in Haida, and I just didn't know if he was the leader or if he was a heavy or not.
Okay, but we would have connected those dots.
Yeah.
By now. Okay. I think she's going to want to focus on disarming these secondary people, and maybe him, but primarily wants to take as much of their like firepower away, whether that's kind of like ducking through. And I put as a focus on her battle like a defensive combat. It's like some kind of martial art to like get weapons out of people's hands and like restrain or disable them. So
all right, kind of then that seems like still a battle roll. You're trying to essentially negate one of these 2 people. Let's have you roll.
Okay. And if it's sort of like protecting Hayden, would that be justice instead of duty?
Sure,
or
if you want, yeah.
I mean, it's I guess it's 1 less, so I don't know why I would argue for that other than
it's either way. I've got 3 successes.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna call that duty, and I'm using my focus, so that's already 3 die, and I don't want to spend a momentum in the pool because 1 is kind of useless. Wait, let me see. What is there something I can? All right. Yeah, no, I can't really apply that. Right.
Yeah. Oh, and I think you use that momentum. I think we're actually at 0 momentum in the pool right now.
Oh, we
but
are.
You can always
okay.
give me more threat, which I'm about to use.
I think I'm fine with that. Yeah. So I rolled that, and I was aiming for 13 and lower. Then I
what
believe.
is your focus?
My focus is defensive tactics, like to disarm.
So that 7 is 2 successes. So that's 4 successes. So that is just enough. How do you drop this first die? Like, what is it that you do that before this guy can react takes him to the ground?
I think that he's aiming there, and he doesn't realize like she's really fast, and she's kind of behind him, and he's gotten like kicked in the like either kicked in a either cut his artery, or actually I think she's probably, I think maybe she's done that ear clap thing where it just like busts your eardrums and disables them.
He cries out as he hits the ground. In the background, we hear all the gunfire and shouts of your people working their way through the building. Hayden.
Fun.
What do you want to do? There's one of these thugs still left, and your dad.
Okay, so camera kind of focuses on me catching his gaze and him catching mine. I reach in my pocket and bring out the immunity shot for the gas or whatever. Jab myself in the arm and just put half of it in me, pull it out. I throw it, towards him on the ground and say, you might want to use that, and let's make this a fair fight. As I, start to slowly, take my shirt off.
If he grabs that up, he will. What do you want to do? Like what is the, when you actually get grip to grip here? What is it you're doing?
Okay. Once his shirt's off, you see like scars all over his back and arm and in everywhere. And it's just me going straight for him. There's a gleeful look in his eye as I'm just going to try and use my dirty fighting to put him down.
All right. Let's have you roll. I will roll. I'm going to spend one of my points of threat on this. So I've got 2 successes here.
Okay, so for me, it's going to be battle and power again. That's going to be 12 with the dirty fighting for 5 and under. And we're at 0 momentum.
That is correct.
And you're at 3 threat. I don't want to give you any more.
Okay.
So 2d20. Let's see here. So it's going to be 1 success.
1 success. So you go in at him, and he does that thing where he can see where you're coming, and he grabs you and he throws you down. And he says, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. See how strong you are because of me. Ismina. Oh, actually, I should have his attack now. I've got bad guys. I forgot the bad guys go. It's not just all reactive. Ismina, this thug is going to come at you. And tell you what, let's do that 3d20 again. I'll spend another threat for his attack on you. So I've got 2 successes, and he's going to break his weapon. So you may roll to defend.
I can roll to defend, or he's defending himself?
You roll to defend.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes at you. What do you want to? And you can use your defensive combat as your focus for this.
Yes, I would like to do that. And yeah, this is duty. This is the other mook guy there, or this is the other dude. Yeah, because his dad is busy. Yes, so that's going to be duty, and battle, so that's what, 3? Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So that looks like 4 successes.
Yeah, I rolled the 3. Is
Then you have 2 momentum.
Ooh.
You can put them in the
Awesome.
pool, or you can use it to do something else.
I have 2, then I'm gonna put those back in the pool. Yes.
Okay. All right. Hayden, your dad is over across the floor, runs, and he pulls his foot back, and he goes to just kick you in the midsection when you're on the floor. Let's lower that threat by 1 more. I'm going to use it all up. Let's roll that again. Oh, but that is only 2 successes. What are you rolling to defend, Hayden?
Okay, so I think it's probably going to be pretty much the same roll because probably a battle and power, unless you think anything else would be different for the defense part. I don't know.
No, that seems right to me.
Okay, so I think it's, 12. All right, 2d20. I'm going to spend 1 of the momentum to make it 3d20.
Okay.
And need to get this guy down. Ooh, there we go. So that's... does the dirty fighting still count?
I think that's more of a... Dirty fighting is more of an attacking thing.
Okay. So it's still going to be 3 successes.
Yeah, so you get an extra momentum. You can throw that back in the pool. You can ask a question. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to throw that back in the pool.
Then let's stop the start of this round. He's over you. He's tried to kick you. You kind of rolled out of the way. What do you do now?
Yeah. Oh, it's my initiative straight again?
Yeah, well, we're kind of flipping through here just to make it easy.
Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I move up to him, try to slip under his guard, come back around and try and put him in a sleeper hold to try and put him down.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. And it's I think it's basically the same thing. So,
battle plus power?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep the momentum in the pool for everybody else, and I just go with the 2d20 roll.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to be 1 success.
1 success. He will slip away from that. Yeah. Ismina, you see this? Hayden is fighting his father and not getting the better end of the deal in some ways. You still got this thug. What do you want to do?
Is there a way that I can? I think my goal would be to try and like disable this thug by like throwing him into his father. Like,
yeah, okay. Depending on the number of successes that you get, if you get a good margin, you can do that essentially to cause a problem for the father.
Okay. Yes, I would. Yeah, I would like to tackle this guy, fight him, wrestle with him in a way that will intercept us.
Defensive fighting.
All right. Defensive fighting. I think the same ones. Using. Ooh, and okay, so
that looks like 3.
I think that, let's see, what, 7 and, oh, you're right, 7 and 8. So I was using a previous that.
So
yes, although I can, since I'm using duty, I can re-roll 1 of those because I am using duty, and one of them is I know if it aligns with my drive statement, which is I know my responsibilities, and one of them is to keep these people safe.
Okay, let's have you re-roll that 16 then.
Okay, so I will just.
So before you were just going to take him out, but now you not only take him out, you throw him and hit this guy and knock him back. And essentially, he has the trait right now off balance, which is going to increase the difficulty for his attacks and lower the difficulty to hit him. Even as this other guy that you threw kind of hits the wall and goes unconscious. So Seraphina, tell me, on the ground as they're kind of finishing up, getting this down to the first floor, you know that there's a melee going on. What are you doing on the ground to secure the situation? Are you more interested in locking it down? Are you more interested in capturing key people who are running? Or what do you think is the focus for?
Yeah, if people who are running, some of them are on our list, and so I'm basically directing the forces here. It's like anybody who runs, let them go unless we say otherwise. And then we've got basically a spotlight. It's like, okay, that guy with the jacket. Okay, that one over, the one with the scar. You put down anyone who's firing back. Otherwise, let them run, except where we say.
So it feels like communicate to give orders. And what drive is the appropriate one here?
This is duty.
Okay.
And how much momentum is there?
Just the one.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I have a success, but I'm using determination. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you've got that. This is the perfect time for you to use that.
It's like, okay, plan B.
Look at that. Still a complication, but 2 successes, right?
No, I don't have 17.
But
2 successes. No, I don't, and I don't have a focus.
Okay. So I think you will get.
Determination is not a selective reroll, right? It's all.
No, determination is a selective reroll. You get to reroll whichever ones.
This is the most important thing I'm doing here. So I'm going to spend my other determination.
Oh yes, please burn through it.
And reroll the 2 fails. And that's 2 successes and
2 successes. So like you spot 2 of the key lieutenants, and you were able to call down people to grapple them, lock them up, tie them up, and essentially get them pulled over to you so that it's secured before anybody else can get to them, and so that you have definitively a hold of them. Stahl, what are you doing to stabilize the situation on the ground?
Maybe just making it so that most of these people aren't privy to us being unlike we said we were.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's have you roll to create a plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna roll with truth. No, just kidding. I think duty, communicate.
Okay.
Does composure apply?
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. So 12 and then 2d6 or 2d20. 10 and another 1.
10 and a 1. So that's 3 successes. So you're in the crowd. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Let me help you get you out of here. We have no idea what's going on. You should help everybody get to safety. And they're like, oh yes. And they see how the helping hand of House Anthea reaching out to them to pull them out of this clearly a war between 2 gangs that is going on here, right?
And probably whoever made that building, clearly it's like a nuclear power plant and they just wanted it to go off with unsettling technologies. It
is. They're very, very nervous about that. That power plant is waiting for another complication roll, by the way. I'm just telling you that right now. So we're going to do your father's action, and then we'll come back to the top of the round, Hayden. He has an additional difficulty, but I'm going to spend my last threat as he's going to try and put his knife in you. So 3d20. 2 successes, which because of the Ismina's action gets knocked down to 1 success you have to defend against.
Okay, so it's the same as before. 12s, no focus applies.
You can still fail.
Yeah. Ooh,
but
2
not
successes.
today. So you get a momentum.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that momentum in the pool and probably use it on my attack here.
Okay, flip around. What do you do? What's your reaction to this?
So which call it the I just circle around him again as he made a lunge at me, which called it, and I growl at him, you have no more power over me. And then I just go in for a bear hug or whatever, and I'm going to try and bite his nose off.
Oh, grim.
Okay, so is it only 1 threat to get 1 d20 from you, or is it 2 threat for every single d20?
I think it's just one. It's 1 for the first one. It'd be another 2 for the second one.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 threat to get an extra die.
Please do. I can't quite spend it yet.
Okay, so 3d20. I was wondering, let's see here, can I use truth instead of power, since I made the statement of
I like
no
that.
Power over
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, so battle and truth, so that's 13.
I've got 1 success.
And I have let's see, that's 2,
4,
34. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 4.
Success.
Yeah.
So 1 success, that hit is going to deal 2 points of essentially of stress to him, and then with that momentum, you can spend 2 of that momentum to increase that effectively by another 1. So he'll take 3. So he falls back. He is staggered. Blood is running down his face from that, but he is not dropped yet because he is an aim foe. You've got 1 momentum. You can pop in the pool or hang on. Okay.
Yeah, put that in the pool.
Ismina, what do you do? Do you break in on this?
Yeah, I think that if he looks like, do I know from knowing Hayden, do I know that, is he trying to kill him like full up, or are you just trying to?
What's the impression, Hayden, that Ismina has?
It looks pretty bad. Yeah, it looks like I'm trying to kill him.
Okay, yeah, I think she's going to as much as she is a fan of this, Hayden taking his own back. I think her next thing is going to kind of get in there and try and like restrain him and maybe put some kind of like handcuffs on the dad. What time for unfinished business later. We have the leader of the clan, and we're not done with him yet. When Anthea is done with him, you can have him.
Let's have you roll defensive fighting.
Okay. There it is.
Oh, I'll use my threat to do an extra.
Oh no.
20. So I'm at that. So I've got 2 successes then with a modifier to this thing.
Okay. All right. So I think that's 3 dice for me. Why is this not okay? Ooh. That's 4 with the focus, I think.
Okay. What's your battle?
7.
So that's 5 with your focus.
Oh, because it has. Wow. Okay.
The 3rd time's great.
How do you render him helpless? What happens here?
I think that I think that even though he has part of the inoculation in it, I think she is able to use, I think, clamping down on the bleeding. Part of what she clamps down on is covered in the nerve poison thing that she has. So he's like rendered kind of inert, and she just kicks his knees in from behind.
Hayden, here is the question I have for you.
Yeah.
As Mina has said, House Anthea needs him. You'll have your chance. You can do that. You know, she has brought duty to the forefront for you.
Okay.
But on the other hand, he's right there in front of you, and it would take only a moment to put that knife in him.
Yeah. You see the possibilities pass what you call it along his face as he, you know, he's stressing and sweat is pouring down his face as he's clenching and he's walking towards him very slowly, and what you call it, he gets right up in his face, and he says, "Yeah, you will not make a patricide of me. I will leave you for Idris." And then I turn around and walk away.
Nice. And I think that we see you, Ismina, kind of pull up his limp body. You're getting word on your comms. The building is secure. House Haida is disrupted. Their intelligence secured. Their lieutenants captured. Done under the cover of night, so no one realizes just how brutally effective you were. And it is a complete and total success. And that is where we are going to stop. We'll kind of take up in the aftermath next time if anybody wants to do sort of post-fight scenes, but I think that's where we're going to wrap today. So if you don't mind, I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes to kind of walk through that. So my order this week has been Stahl. Let me start with you. Stars, things you liked about what happened tonight, about character moments, anything like that, and then wishes, things you definitely want to see next time.
I really like the Bene Gesserit thing. That was really fun. I like the daddy fight, even though it took a dark turn. Didn't see that coming. I'm gonna get his nose. People get nutted. It was a rough day for whoever we messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that was quite fun. Things I want to see next time. I'd like it if we blew up their place anyway.
Yeah.
Just to make it seem like they're real bad. And probably just more Bene Gesserit, my little rival coming at me stuff.
Okay.
Except more like superior.
The blowing up actually makes a lot of sense because you need to establish a defensive point there, so it gives you an excuse to rebuild on the site. So that makes sense. Okay, yeah, we'll have Bene Gesserit on camera next time. Let's come to Hayden.
I'm just gonna have to say that I'm having a blast playing this game. It's awesome. But Seraphina is getting shit done. I mean, she's doing the I guess the non-flashy stuff that's gonna get us where we need to be. So, you know, good ups to that. My wishes, yes. Fraser kind of said them. I'm really interested in the Bene Gesserit because I really think that they're our main enemy at the end of things, and I really would love to see the Pollinator actually get one over on her and turn her to our way of thinking. That's what I want to see. You know, really hard to do, but yeah, it's just a wish.
That's an interesting wish. I like that. Ismina.
Yeah, just a lot of great moments. Really enjoyed Hayden's conflict even right up at the very end. I love the creative choices and the dirty fighting, like coming up with something different each time. The biting his nose off is just horrible and great. and the you won't make a patricide out of me. What a fantastic line. Great line. And the Bene Gesserit like freaking out on Stahl and being like, you don't do that. And after he's like, I can do a little sly talking. I love that, like, that's not our style at all. And Stahl was like, I can do this, and then immediately was like slam dunked. And that will be great to see as well. And also, like, I love that, like, Serafina is definitely like great at thinking of like the directions that we need to be going in and the like people we need to be talking to, even when I can't remember who was the person that we were supposed to talk to again, and what was their connection. And then Brandon's got a great plan already, so that is super cool to see. Yeah, I had a lot of fun tweaking a few things in the system. So just as far as like playing the system, I feel like I finally got a little bit more of my head around it, which has been a lot of fun to interact with and kind of hopefully plug a few things in that go. Yeah, and then I guess my wish is to just kind of like this was super exciting to disable Haida, and I think next on his Venus plate is going to be like, all right, is Zaret trying to blow everybody up? Like, what is that little thing going on up there? So
excellent. And Serafina.
Yes, well, I don't wish to repeat what other people have said, because I found something wonderful in everyone's thing, and I'm very glad that Ismina got to have so much stage time in her war leader role, because she was very much deserving of that. I'd like to give you a star, Lowell, for the genre feel here, which is just beautifully dead on. It really feels like Dune, with different in a different place with different names. So my wish for the next time is the pivot to dealing with House Zarat, who I mean, we have a lot of pieces to pick up from this, et cetera, but we all know where the big next threat is. The Bene Gesserit may or may not be the ultimate threat, but they're probably not the next one. And Serafina would love to meet her, but that's just Serafina's burning curiosity, not her duty to the House Anther, which unfortunately still trumps everything.
Awesome.
I'm curious about the connection that Serafina has with the consort because of the ring. Like, it's been this many sessions and I still haven't been able to in character notice it or ask her about it.
That's true. So I guess I have a wish for a little in character interaction, a tiny bit of character downtime and exploring of personal backstories and such.
One of the things we might do, just because of the speed of transport, is we might do some scenes back at the court next time, interacting with some of those NPCs, and then moving you back onto this scene, so you can kind of report in what's happened. You talk to the NPCs, and then come back. Let's plan on doing that.
That would be awesome. And I'm also, as we're shifting to Zarat, I know that I said like the consort I don't think is suspicious, but I'm also interested, like, if it turns out that he is. So feel free to.
That's a complication.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it would be classic Dune that we're doing so well here, and it's undone by machinations back at court, or something, or threatened at least terribly.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't get a chance to blow up the building. I thought when Brandon put those 220s on the table, I was like, oh, here we go. Meltdown. So good stuff. Thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording.